Hey guys, it's Wasteland Sniper. Thanks for joining me for another live play of Marvel Champions. Whew, it has been a long week. I had the whole week last week off. You might notice I'm a little more tan than I was the last time that you saw a video of me. I was out camping. I was one of the camp directors for girls' camp for my church. So I was out camping with a bunch of the teenage girls and keeping them out of trouble. It actually wasn't bad. They were all really well behaved, and it was a good time. We got to do axe throwing and archery. I got a bullseye with archery. I also got this nasty bruise on my arm from the bowstring. It didn't matter how I held the bow. I kept getting bit by the string, so yeah, there was that. But I did get a bullseye, and I also managed to hit the target 3 times in a row with the axes, and for that I got 2 little wooden medallions. I should have had them here with me. Anyway, one is shaped like an axe for the axe throwing, and one is shaped like a target for the bullseye. So that was fun. I actually did. There was one axe where the tip of it, like at the very top of the blade, was actually chipped. And I think that was enough to throw the axe balance off enough that 3 times in a row, when I threw that particular axe, it hit the target hilt first. So literally the back end of the axe buried itself in the wood. I took a picture of a couple of the times that happened because I was just like, wow. I was not planning on doing that, but that's what happened. Anyway, that was the first time I'd ever actually done axe throwing. I've never done axe throwing before, so it was a lot of fun, and the girls were a lot of fun. But anyway, yeah, so I had the whole last week off of work, and so being back at work this week has been kind of brutal. I did find out today, luckily, I don't have to work on Friday, so I don't have to do mandatory overtime, for which I am incredibly happy. Yeah, so I just have one more day to get through, and I'm super excited about that. But we're not here to talk about my job and camping and all that stuff. We are here to play some Marvel Champions, and I decided this week that I wanted to play some Spectrum, since she's one that I haven't played a lot. When the box for this came out, it was Mad Titan Shadow. Sorry, there's like a cat hair in there and it's driving me crazy. Anyway, when the box for this came out, Mad Titan Shadow, I was far more interested in Adam Warlock than I was Spectrum. I have played Spectrum a few times, really liked her, but Adam Warlock was the one that I gravitated more towards, and so I haven't really played her much. And then with all the heroes that have come out since then, especially with the heroes that I really like, like Nightcrawler and Colossus, and then, with my old favorites like Captain America, she just really hasn't seen any play until I decided, I'm going to play Spectrum. I think it was not last week, it was the week before last week. Some of the people that I game with, that is a really weird thing going on with my... Sorry, okay, so that's fixed. Anyway, they wanted to get together and play, like, fairly new players, and, they sometimes watch the stream, so hi guys. But anyway, so they wanted to try out Ultron, and I was like, okay, cool. I need to do a deck that has Squirrel Girl in it. And for some reason, Spectrum is the one that jumped immediately to mind. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to build an Avengers deck that centers around Spectrum. This is not really that deck. It's kind of sort of that deck, but I've tweaked it quite a bit going into playing tower defense because like it still has Squirrel Girl in it, but she's not really the main focus of this particular deck. And honestly, I think I probably would have tweaked that deck too just a little bit because I forgot about MedLab that I probably should have added to it when I originally played it. But anyway, we ended up winning, so it doesn't really matter. But for this deck, because Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive can get tough, I guess not regularly, but kind of sort of regularly. Some of their cards will give them tough. I decided I was going to throw an ally into this deck that I have not had much opportunity to play and that I really want to love, and that's Black Knight. Because when Black Knight does a basic attack, his attacks gain piercing. So he's going to be one of the allies that I really want to get out as soon as I possibly can, and then pretty much kind of keep him out the whole game so that anytime tough comes up, I can just use him to attack and it's not an issue. As far as this scenario goes, this is the second scenario in the Mad Titan Shadow box, the first one being Ebony Maw. This scenario has, as you can see, it's got two villains. It's got Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive. It also has two main schemes. Both of them will gain threat at the beginning of the villain phase, but when one or the other of these schemes, that only goes on their particular main scheme. We also have this Avengers Tower environment that is in play. Thankfully, it has this text, the unique rule does not apply to Avengers Tower, because I have Avengers Tower in my deck. It's a basic support card. So, yeah. But the thing about this Avengers Tower is that it's constantly having damage done to it. So it's got this forced response that after damage is placed here, if there's at least 9 per player damage here, remove all of it, then flip Avengers Tower over. And when we flip Avengers Tower over, it goes from being, it was a stronghold, and now it's damaged. And when revealed, discard each other Avengers Tower from play. So if this gets damaged enough, and my Avengers Tower is out, I will lose that Avengers Tower, which sucks. But even worse is the forced response on this after damage is placed here. If there's at least 9 per player damage here, the players lose the game. So I've got to watch the damage on this and make sure that it doesn't flip over, but on the off chance it does, because it's amazing how fast damage can accumulate on here. You think putting, because there's things that will give you the option to put 1 damage here. And you can do that a couple of times and you're like, oh, I'm fine, I'm way far away from this flipping. And then you'll flip a card that tells you to put 6 damage on it. Yeah, that happened before. Thankfully, that just put it at 8. And I was able to actually finish this scenario before this ended up taking more damage. So it ended up being fine, but it really can stack up fast. Also, we're still using standard 3. And now I guess we'll look at the villains here. Let's look at Corvus Glaive. He is a 2 scheme, 1 attack villain. He does have a star by his attack. He's a member of the Black Order, and his force response is after Corvus Glaive makes an undefended attack, discard the top card of the encounter deck with a cost arrow, then deal 1 damage to Avengers Tower for each boost icon on that card. Notably, Corvus Glaive cannot be defeated while Proxima Midnight has any hit points remaining. So Corvus Glaive is one that we want to make sure that we've got somebody blocking the attacks, or that he is somehow stunned. I think I may have some stun in this particular deck. I can't remember if I took that out or not. I'm not sure. But I have been successfully able to keep him from making an undefended attack in the previous games that I've played. So we'll see how that goes tonight. Now we have Proxima Midnight, who is a 1 scheme 2 attack villain. She's also got a star by attack. Force Interrupt. When Proxima Midnight attacks, you choose to either deal 1 damage to Avengers Tower, or Proxima Midnight gets +2 attack for this attack. And again, Proxima Midnight cannot be defeated while Corvus Glaive has any hit points remaining. Their hit points aren't big, as you can see on the screen. I did actually manage to fiddle with the little script that I found that allows me to put the scoreboard on the screen. And you will notice there are 2 now. So Proxima Midnight is at 9 health. Corvus Glaive is at 8 health. Their health is not that big, but you do have to get both of them down, so ultimately that's 7 villain hit points that you have to get through. We've also got this focus defense that's a permanent, and the villain who matches the attached scheme is the active villain. After the player phase ends, attach this card to the other main scheme. So this is constantly going to be bouncing back and forth between schemes. For right now, we'll look at Under Siege. This is main scheme 1A. For setup, reveal stage 2A and put it into play next to this stage. So there are 2 main schemes and 2 villains in play. Alright, so we are going to put this into play. When revealed, put the Avengers Tower environment into play, stronghold side face up, put the focus defense attachment into play attached to this stage. Each player searches the encounter deck for a copy of Black Order Besieger and puts it into play engaged with them, then shuffle the encounter deck. So we're going to go find a Black Order Besieger. There's one right there. And we will get this all shuffled up. I'm putting this up off screen, just it's just kind of, well, mostly off screen, but you can just see it right here. So we have this Black Order Besieger engaged with us. The Spectrum, we'll go over Spectrum in just a second, but okay, so then we get to flip these over. This is Corvus Glaive's scheme, so we're going to put that right next to him. And I believe this is the one that Focus Defense is attached to, yes. So Focus Defense is going to be attached to this one first. So it has 1 threat on it starting out, and it is Corvus Glaive's scheme. Let's see what it says at the top. Corvus Glaive directs his forces from the front using his tactical genius to counter the Avengers' defense. Force Interrupt. When this stage would be completed, remove all threat from the stage instead, then deal each player 1 face-down encounter card. So not great. We want to keep that from happening. And now this other one, 1B, Proxima Midnight scheme. Proxima Midnight leads the Black Order in a direct assault on Avengers Tower. Force Interrupt. When this stage would be completed, remove all threat from this stage instead, then deal 6 per player damage to Avengers Tower. We definitely don't want this happening. So this is also going to come in with 1 threat. Oops, I just stole the threat. Okay, there we go. So they both have threat. So this is going to keep moving back and forth at the end of the player phase. Hopefully I remember to move it. Because it's on Corvus Glaive scheme, Corvus Glaive is the active villain. So we're gonna put this right here. And then we've got this Black Order Besieger in play in front of us. So Spectrum's whole thing is that she's got these 3 cards here. They're upgrades, Gamma, Photon, and Pulsar, and each correlates to one of her 3 stats here. Gamma with attack, Photon with thwart, and Pulsar with defense. Pulsar is by far the least useful one unless you're doing like a full-on defense build, and generally you would only do that if you're playing multiplayer. It gives you +2 defense, and then it has this response that after you change to this energy form, you heal 1 damage from Spectrum. So that can be useful, just changing to it to heal 1 damage, as long as you can change right back out of it, or if you're changing to it in like right before the villain phase, so that you can, you know, defend against an attack if you need to. Photon, she gets +2 thwart, and after you change to this energy form, remove 1 threat from a scheme, so threat removal. And then Gamma is Spectrum gets +2 attack, and after you change to this energy form, deal 1 damage to an enemy. While she is in Alter Ego, these are just face down. Once you flip up, you have to choose one of these forms to flip into. So that is going to be kind of one of the choices that we have to make with her, as we're like playing through this scenario. She actually has done pretty well against this scenario. I haven't tried out this version of the deck, so we'll see how it goes. Let's draw up and see what we've got. We have a call for aid. I'll make the call. Pulsar shield, speed of light. Another pulsar shield, that's unfortunate. And photon speed. So speed of light is nice because it means I can change energy forms and draw a card. I definitely don't need make the call or the pulsar shields or photon speed. I don't have that much threat to remove. This is for threat removal. Pulsar shields are for defense. I'm not going to need to do that. Call for aid would be nice because that's going to get me an ally really quick. So I think I'm going to keep these 2. We're going to toss these 4 and see what else we get. Gamma Blast, another speed of light, evaluate threat, and another call for aid. Well, that sucks because that's both of my calls for aid. Alright, so I think what we're gonna do is flip up. I want to go to let's see, because with speed of light, so I can flip up, then with speed of light I can flip to something else and draw, and it also draws me a card, which is nice. And then with the second speed of light I can flip back to whatever it is I flipped away from. So it's just kind of deciding the best one to flip into at the start. I mean, it is nice to keep these down. And they actually, when they designed this, they actually did a really good job, because when I play this, generally when it's Proxima Midnight's turn to attack, I try to be in Alter Ego, because she only has a 1 scheme and her attack is kind of nasty. Like, you have to put a damage here or she gets +2 attack. So she's attacking for 4, so even if I have Spectrum in Pulsar form, which gives her +2 defense, she's only got a 3 defense, so she's still taking a damage from Proxima Midnight. Unless you have a Pulsar shield. Or no, she'll still take damage from that. Never mind. Anyway. Yeah, I think... So I think what I want to do... is I'm gonna hop up to Gamma. So you deal 1 damage to an enemy. I'm not going to go after the Black Order Besieger. Instead, I'm going to go put the damage on... Actually, you know what? Let's go with Proxima Midnight. So she's down to 8. She's equal with Corvus Glaive. Not that that really matters, but I could just like go full on and take out one of these, and they'll still be activating until the other one is dead. So it doesn't really matter if I take them out. If I take one of them out really fast, because they're still going to activate until I take out the other one too. Gamma Blast would be really nice, but I'm going to play... Or, no, before I play Speed of Light, and this is where the order kind of comes in, she is a hero that kind of... She wants an order to things. I think she's probably one of the simpler heroes that wants that, but before we flip out away from Gamma, we're going to use that 2 attack, so she's got a 3 attack, or the +2 attack, so she's got 3 attack now to go after this Black Order Besieger and take him out. We'll put the discard pile right up here. So that gets him out of the way. Then we're going to play Speed of Light. And Speed of Light is going to change us energy forms and draw us a card. So I think for this I actually want to go to Photon. And then I'm going to take one off of Under Siege. This one I think is way worse than this one, just because this pushed so much damage on Avengers Tower. And now we get to draw a card. Oh, it's Effective Leadership. So that will go away. So this is actually not terrible, because if we use Call for Aid, we can use Effective Leadership to spend it to play an ally, and then that ally gets +1 thwart and +1 attack until the end of the phase, which is really nice. That being said, I am going to use this Speed of Light. I am going to switch actually to Pulsar, because I'm about to take a big hit from Proxima Midnight, so I get +2 defense. I'm already at full health. Wait, Spectrum does not have 14 health. I apologize. She has 11 health. Whoops. Alright. So now she's at the health she's supposed to be. So, she's not going to heal, so we're not going to get the benefit from that. But when Proxima Midnight attacks us this next turn, we'll at least be able to block for 3, because I don't want to put damage on the Avengers Tower if I don't have to. So there's that Speed of Light, and we get to draw a card, which is another Speed of Light. I just drew all 3. I'm pretty sure there's only 3 in this deck. Speeds of Light. This is not good. This is really not good. Man. Alright, at this point, I think I'm going to play Call for Aid. I don't want to play this again. So this is going to go over here with all of my cards in hand. Call for Aid, discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard an Avengers ally, then add that ally to your hand. So we're going to be discarding until we get an ally. Oh, and we get Black Knight, which is actually nice. I am, however, sad to see Quingarrier and Medlab go. Oh, and there's my last Pulsar Shield. I think I had 3 of those in here. Yeah, 3 Pulsar Shields. And the Triskelion, which is unfortunate. Alright, but we got Black Knight in hand. And this will go to discard. So I don't think I want to play another Call for Aid. Effective Leadership, I'm definitely going to use that to play Black Knight along with Gamma Blast, and I think this Call for Aid. I think between the 3 of those we'll get Black Knight out. Black Knight is going to get +1 thwart and +1 attack until the end of the phase. So I think right now we're just going to have him attack for 3. And why not? Let's just gang up on Proxima Midnight. So she's down 5, and now he takes 1 consequential damage. And now, I probably should just keep him without damage on him, just so that I can make sure that he sticks around with piercing, especially since I lost my med lab. But it's fine. Plus, it's nice to get that extra +1 attack to some use. Now I've still got a speed of light and evaluate threat. Evaluate threat would be nice to get out. But I don't want to just get rid of this speed of light. So I think I'm going to keep both of these in hand and finish out my turn. So I will get... Okay, so I've got Kalu and Ant-Man. Okay, so we can probably work with this. And then at the end of... or after the player phase ends, so that's now, attach this card to the other main scheme. So we're attaching it over here. Proxima Midnight becomes the active villain. We get +1 to each main scheme for threat. Then Proxima Midnight is going to attack me, and I have to choose whether I want to put 1 damage on Avengers Tower or she gets +2 attack. I'm just going to give her the +2 attack, and I will defend. So I'm defending for 3. She's attacking for 4. I'm definitely going to take at least 1 damage. Add the other villain scheme and attack to this villain scheme and attack for this activation. So she's attacking for 4, 5. So that kind of sucks. I'll take 2 damage, but it's not as bad as it could have been. So we're down to 9. Alright, and now we will draw our encounter card. Radioactive... Wait a second. Oops. I forgot to take out Spectrum's Nemesis cards from the last time I played. So let me do that right now. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so the last time we played with Standard 3 on video, we managed to avoid getting a Nemesis minion, and the last 2 times that I have played with her, I have actually drawn her. I've actually had to add her Nemesis minion, which kind of sucks. I don't really like Radioactive Man. Because he goes after every character that you control. After he activates against you, you deal 1 damage to each character you control. It's kind of a nightmare. Alright, so let's try that again. Oh, we got a Black Order Infantry who has Guard, so we can't attack either of the villains. And when defeated, give the villain a tough status card. So, again, this is why we have Black Knight here. It's so that he can get rid of these toughs that the villains are going to get. I could throw down Kalu. I think the first thing I want to do, actually, is I want to go... I want to use Speed of Light to change energy forms. And we're going to change to Gamma. And so that's going to deal 1 damage to an enemy. We're going to put that on the Black Order Infantry. And then Speed of Light is going to go away, and we get to draw a card, and it's Hawkeye. Ooh, Hawkeye would be nice to get out. Because he comes into play with 4 arrow counters on him. And then whenever we get a minion that comes out that enters play, we get to remove 1 arrow counter from Hawkeye to deal 2 damage to that minion, which is going to be really nice. Ant-Man would also be a nice pull. Or nice to put out. I don't know that I really need Kalu right now. So I think I'm going to use Strength and Kalu to get Hawkeye out. So Hawkeye has these 4 arrow counters on him. And I could use Ant-Man to put Evaluate Threat into play, which I think is what I'm gonna do. So we'll just put that right there, and it comes in with 2 threat on it. This will allow me to go grab a shield or Avenger card that I want or need and add it to my hand, and then reduce the cost to play that card by 2 until the end of the phase. So it's entirely possible that I could go grab the Quinn Carrier, which is Avenger traded, and then play it for 1, which would be really nice. Unfortunately for me, I am exhausted right now, so this +2 attack is not doing anything to help me out. Otherwise, I would go take out the Black Order infantry. But that being said, I don't think I'm going to do anything else. We're going to end. And actually, I'm going to move this over here. I'll put it right there. And so we'll draw. Alright, energy duplication. Perfect. There's my Squirrel Girl. Here's a Make the Call. Photon Speed. And a Genius. Okay, this is not bad. This will help me get out energy duplication, which is her, it's Spectrum's resource generator. So once I can get that on the table, she has 2 of them. Once I can get both of them on the table, I'll be doing really good for resources. And then if I add the Quinn Carrier, that just helps a lot too. Avengers Tower will also help out a lot because it will reduce the cost of any allies or Avenger allies that I play. Okay, so now this is going to go over here. Corvus Glaive is now the active villain. These each get 1 threat on them. And then Corvus Glaive is going to attack. When he makes an undefended attack, I have to discard the top card of the encounter deck and deal 1 damage to Avengers Tower for each boost icon on that card. I don't want to do that, so I am gonna block. Because I don't want to use these guys for that either. I would like them to stick around and kind of do their thing. So he's attacking for 1, 2, 3. He's attacking for 3. I'm only blocking for 1 right now because I'm in Gamma, so I will take 2 more damage. Then the Black Order infantry is also going to attack. I'm just going to let him attack, so I'll take 2 more damage. Okay. Let's see what we get. Landing Craft. When defeated, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a minion is discarded. Put that minion into play engaged with the player who defeated this scheme. Okay, this is actually not bad. This is where I'm glad I have Hawkeye out already. Because once that minion comes out, he's going to have 2 Well, he'll start with 3 or 4 hit points generally, and then Hawkeye will immediately put 2 damage on them. So that's I'm actually not upset about that at all. But now it is my turn, and I have to decide. I could use Photon Speed to change to Photon Energy form and remove 4 threat from a scheme. So I could take all the threat off armies of Thanos. Oh, let's see. What could I grab with Make the Call? Not Ant-Man. Ant-Man won't work. Don't know that Kalu would be that useful. Yeah, I don't think anything I have in my discard is anything that I really need to get. I mean, Squirrel Girl would be nice, because she'll come in and she'll ping all the enemies for 1 damage. And then I can use her to thwart for 1 off of here. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Alright, so we're gonna use Genius to get out Energy Duplication first. I need to get these online. Then we're gonna use Energy Duplication and Make a Call. So Energy Duplication, what it does is it actually gives me a resource. It generates the printed resource of the face-up energy form upgrade, which right now is Gamma, which has a strength resource. So Energy Duplication is giving me 1 strength resource, and then we'll Make the Call. Like, that doesn't matter for playing Squirrel Girl. She doesn't really care what you play her with, but for some cards that might actually matter. So that's kind of one of the things you have to keep an eye on with Spectrum, is which type of resource are these energy duplications actually giving you. There aren't a whole ton of cards that have kickers that depend on which resource it's using, but I kind of expect us to see more of those cards in the future, and some of the ones that do are actually really good cards too. So, like Dropkick, I love Dropkick, but that's an aggression card, so I can't play it with this deck. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, we're gonna use Energy Duplication and Make the Call so that we can get out Squirrel Girl. And when she enters play, or after Squirrel Girl enters play, deal 1 damage to each enemy. So he's gonna take another damage. Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive will both take damage. There we go. And then I will have Squirrel Girl thwart 1 off of Under Siege. Hawkeye will also thwart 1 off of Under Siege. I need this clear. I want to be able to take threat off of here, but unfortunately I don't have the resources to play Photon Speed right now. However, I am going to hold this because I'm going to have to clear that. I really need to clear that. And oh, and then I'm going to flip down to Alter Ego. And then we will ready and draw up. Alright, I'm going to hold on to Photon Speed. So we got, ooh, Mighty Avengers. Another Gamma Blast. Stinger. Oh, Stinger would be nice. Effective Leadership. Okay. And, oh, there's Avengers Tower. Okay. I love Stinger. you can only play her if your identity has the Avengers trait, but she doesn't count against your ally limit, so that's always nice. Oh, and then this gets flipped over. You know what, I'm going to put these over here on the other side. That way I have a little more room on this side. Alright, so this is going to go up by 1. This will go up by 1. Proximate Midnight. Oops. I knew I was going to forget to do that. Alright, this goes over here. She's going to scheme for 1. So 1, 2. She schemes for 2. So this is at 3. Black Order Infantry is going to scheme for 1. That's at 4. I really hope... Oh, actually, you know what? No, because this landing craft, this is at 5. This is also at 5. Wow. Alright, I've got to deal with this threat. Please don't be in advance. Corvus is cunning. Corvus Glaive activates against you, which means he's going to scheme, which means this is going to go off. Unfortunate. Alright, he's scheming for 2, 3. So 3 would go on here. Remove all, but we get to remove all threat from this scheme and then deal a face down encounter card. And then this finishes. And I believe the timing on this is that since it came out while I was still in the encounter card phase, that this ends up getting revealed. So we have another landing craft. Oh, this is not great. Alright. Okay. I do need to heal, actually, because I'm at 5 hit points. Things have gone a little bit off the rails. Effective leadership. So I want to get rid of the Black Order Infantry so that I can put a tough on, I think it'll be Proxima Midnight. And then Black Knight can attack her and get rid of the tough. I do also need to get rid of at least one of these. So, let's see. I can play Stinger with effective leadership. If I do that, she will thwart for 2 and attack for 2 until the end of the phase. So she could thwart 2 off of landing craft, which would give us another minion, which Hawkeye can hit with one of his arrows. I would like to get Avengers Tower out, but I would also actually like to get Mighty Avengers out. Because if I play Mighty Avengers, if each of my characters has the Avenger trait, each ally that I control gets +1 thwart and +1 attack. I will be flipping up, so I'll have the Avenger trait again, so that would give everybody... Oh, that's actually... Yeah, we need to get that out. I think it's important to get out Mighty Avengers. I need to play Photon Speed, because I've got to deal with that. I've got to deal with the threat on Under Siege. So I get Mighty Avengers out. Squirrel Girl will be able to thwart for 2, and then she'll leave. Stinger, since I'm playing her with effective leadership, will actually be able to thwart for 3. So I'll actually, between the two, I could actually clear Under Siege. I could have Hawkeye clear one of these landing crafts, and he would still be around because he's got 3 hit points. He's only taken 1 damage so far. Huh. Sorry, I thought I heard something outside. Let's see. So if I go with... Because I would like to get Avengers Tower out maybe next turn. Because then every time I play an Avenger, that actually reduces the cost of the Avengers that I play. So it's useful. Plus, it actually gives me an extra slot. So if each of your allies has the Avenger trait, increase your ally limit by 1. So with Stinger, since she doesn't count against my ally limit, I could actually have 5 allies out. The very first draft of this deck actually had Captain America, the leadership ally, in it. Because his text is... So he costs a whopping 6 resources. He has 2 thwarting, and then 2 attack, and I believe 4 hit points, 3 or 4 hit points. He comes in with toughness, which for 6 resources, totally not worth it. But his text is that for every Avenger character that you control, reduce the cost to play him by 1. So it is entirely possible to actually pay him for free. And because if you've got Avengers Tower out, that gives you one extra ally spot. So that's 4 ally spots plus Stinger, which is 5. And then Spectrum herself is an Avenger, and it does say character, or it doesn't specify either heroes or allies. It's basically any Avengers that you control, so your hero actually counts for that as well. So that's 6 Avengers right there, and if you have the Triskelion out, that gives you another ally slot. So you can actually have 7 Avengers allies out at the same time and play Captain America for free. Or you could just have the 6 and have Triskelion out and play Captain America for free and not have to discard any of your allies, which is really nice. And yes, I do have water. Okay. Man, it was really hot here today. It's still hot. My house is kind of muggy. So, what do I do? Well, I definitely play Mighty Avengers and Stinger. If I can at least take 3 off of here, I think that's enough. But then I don't know that I should be taking both of the landing crafts at the same time. I think I should actually do 1 per turn. So I'm gonna wait to deal with the landing craft, both landing crafts. I'll take care of one. The other one I'm gonna wait until next turn, just because I don't want to get swamped with minions. Okay, so I'm going to use Photon Speed and Gamma Blast plus, oh, whoops, can't do that just yet. I need to flip up. And since I am flipping up, I gotta get rid of this Black Order infantry guy. Alright, so we are gonna flip up. I'm gonna flip to Gamma form. I will do 1 damage. Let's go after Corvus Glaive. So I'll do the 1 damage to Corvus Glaive. Okay, so now I can use energy duplication because now I have a resource to copy. Gamma Blast and Photon Speed are both going to give me Mighty Avengers, which gives all of my Avenger allies +1 thwart and +1 attack. Squirrel Girl is going to thwart 2 off of Under Siege, and that will take her out. Or no, do I want to do 2 off of Under Siege with her? Because I was already going to take off 3 with Stinger. So I think actually with her, I'm going to take the 2 off of Landing Craft. So we're getting rid of a Landing Craft. So we have to, well, this is still resolving. So we have to discard cards. We have an Outrider. Put that minion into play, engage with the player who defeated this scheme. So we get the Outrider, he's put into play, he is not revealed, so I don't have to discard a card at random from my hand. Hooray. But Hawkeye is going to take him out with an arrow. That's 2 damage, he only has 2 hit points. So there goes the Outrider. That was quick. Alright, we're going to use Effective Leadership to get Stinger into play. Remember, she's going to have +1. Sorry, her card was kind of wonky in its sleeve. So she's got 1 attack, +1 from Mighty Avengers, plus the 1 from Effective Leadership. So, and same with Thwart. So she's actually, right now, she's a 3 thwart, 3 attack. For 1 resource. I love it. Alright, so she is going to thwart 3 off of here. And she will take a damage for that. Hawkeye can take out this Black Order infantry, or he can clear Under Siege. I think... I'm going to have him clear Under Siege, just so that I can keep that out of the way. And now, basically, I'm just waiting for minions to show up for him to hit with his bow, because he's only got 1 more hit point left. Spectrum is going to attack and take out this Black Order infantry. Remember, when he's defeated, we give the villain a tough status. So Proxima Midnight gets tough. And then Black Knight is actually going to attack her. He's now at a 3 attack. He's going to attack her and take away her tough. So now she is at 1 hit point. Oh, and he's taking a damage. And now we've got Avengers Tower in hand. And I'm just going to keep this in hand. So we're going to ready. And draw. So we've got 1, 2. There's Honorary Avenger. That's good. Avenge me. Alright. This is going to help a lot. My second energy duplication. And a Regroup. I don't know how I feel about Regroup in this deck. Regroup is a card I think that works best in multiplayer, and is one that I would actually really like to test out with multiplayer, because it's got this interrupt: when an ally is defeated by an enemy attack, return it to its owner's hand instead of discarding it. But then when the round ends, discard this card. So this is actually a great card for like a Nick Fury, like a deck where you're wanting Nick Fury to be recurred as much as possible. Because between Regroup and what is the other one I'm thinking of? The one that brings him directly back in after he's toast. I forget. Anyway, it's an upgrade. But between rapid response, that's it, rapid response and regroup, and then make the call, you could build an entire deck just around recurring Nick Fury. Which is just crazy. Because then you're just drawing endless amounts of cards. Which is actually really nice. Okay. So Stinger, I don't know that I really... My deck is getting low. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 cards left in the deck. I could use Stinger to block. I could use Black Knight also to block. Since I didn't end up healing, that might be a good idea, and then that will get them back in the rotation to bring back. Hopefully I get MedLab out soon, because once MedLab is out, if they go down to consequential damage, I can just stick... You can only do it one at a time, but you could stick an ally that goes out from consequential damage under MedLab and then play it from there, like you're playing it from your hand. They do come in exhausted, though. That's kind of the only bummer about that. But anyway, alright, so this is going to move over here, and Corvus Glaive is now the active one. This is going to go up by 2. Sorry, forgot. We've still got a landing craft. This is going to go up by 2. And now Corvus Glaive is going to attack. We have to defend against this. I'm going to throw Stinger in the way. So he's attacking for 1, 2. There goes Stinger. That would have been nice to have Regroup out at that point, because then I could just pull her back to my hand. But unfortunately, that came out at the wrong time. And now we get our obligation. Okay, you cannot change energy forms. So now we're going to have to go back down to Alter Ego to exhaust Monica Rambeau to remove loss of control from the game. So this could be a lot worse. I'm actually in pretty good position right now to deal with this, because I'm going to flip down anyway, so that Proxima Midnight isn't attacking me again. I don't mind if she schemes, I just don't want her, I don't want her attacking, so this is going to be the perfect opportunity for me to get rid of this. In the meantime, I am going to throw Honorary Avenger on Spectrum, so now whenever I flip down, I'm still an Avenger on this side, because without that, I'm just a civilian, and that turns off my Mighty Avengers support. So this actually also gives me +1 hit point. I don't want to forget that. I'm gonna put Avenge Me on Black Knight, and then Black Knight is gonna attack Corvus Glaive. Again, he's attacking for 3, so Corvus Glaive is down to 3. That's gonna knock Black Knight out. That is also gonna trigger Avenge Me. Attached to an ally. When attached ally is defeated, draw 2 cards. So I get an energy and another Avenge Me. Nice. Alright, so I can use energy to get out energy duplication. I can use both of my energy duplications to get out my Avengers Tower. And other than the Quinn Carrier, that pretty much sets up everything that I need for my economy. So I'm going to throw Avenge Me on Hawkeye. I want to keep Hawkeye around so that he can keep shooting minions. Because he's still got these 3. But I can use him to thwart the 2 off of Under Siege because I need to stay up a spectrum. And I can't switch forms anyway, so I'd only be able to thwart for 1. But I need to stay up so that when I flip down, I can get rid of this. So, yeah, I think I'm going to do it. Alright, so Hawkeye's going to thwart 2 off of Under Siege. That takes away all of that, and he is gone. But I also get to trigger Avenge Me again, so I draw 2 cards. Oh, Blue Marble. Except I can't. So Blue Marble is great. But his big thing is he's got this hero response, is that after he enters play, you get to change energy forms, which I can't do right now because of loss of control. So I am going to use energy to get down this energy duplication. Then I'm going to use both energy duplications to get down Avengers Tower. And actually between Avengers Tower and the 2 cards in my hand, I could play Blue Marble. But I'm not going to. Okay, this is going to move over here at the end of my turn. Proxima Midnight is going to scheme for 1. This is going to go up 2. I think I'll be okay. So I am going to flip down, which means this is going to flip over. And I'm going to exhaust, and loss of control leaves the game, so that's not coming back. I'm going to hold on to Blue Marble. I don't know that I want to hold on. I think I'll hold on to Photon Speed because I'm probably going to need it. I'll get rid of the other one, the Regroup. And we'll ready and draw up. So I've got these 2. 3, another Avenge Me, 4, Avengers Compound, okay. So that's another one that's nice if I have an ally that I don't want to get out just quite yet, but I do want to make sure that they're available when I need them. Avengers Compound would actually be super nice for that. But I'm getting an extra encounter card this turn, which is not super great. Okay. Another Avenge Me and a Call for Aid. Okay. So I think we should be able to do most of the things I would like to do. So this is going up by 2, this is going up by 2. Oh, and this is moving over here. Proxima Midnight is scheming for 1. Discard 1 card at random from your hand. Oh, of course. I have absolutely no idea what order these are in. Alright, pick. I'll just pick the top one. Of course it's Avengers Compound. Great. I was actually really hoping to get that one down. So that sucks, but this goes up by 1. So it's at 3 now. And now we draw another encounter card and we have to do 2. So the first one is Evil Alliance. When revealed, each Nemesis minion in play activates against you. If no minions activated this way, place 3 pursuit counters on pursued by the past. So yep, this is how we get our nemesis minion. City under attack. When defeated, the player who defeated this game draws 1 card. Alright. Well, we'll put this over here. Or no. We'll put this over here. So this is going to have 3 threat on it starting out. Alright, this is where Blue Marvel is definitely going to come in handy. Also call for aid. I would like to heal up. However, I need to take care of threat. So I think one of the first things I want to do I do want to get Blue Marvel out. I know that much. With the Avengers Tower, he's only going to cost me 2. I'm going to throw an Avenge Me on him because I definitely want him to leave play as soon as possible. So then I can bring him back again later. I want to play Photon Speed to help with the threat too. So we've got 4 here, 3, 2, 3, and 2. This one I'm not super worried about. This one has to go because I can't take threat off of those if this one is in play. So I am going to have to flip up to her thwarting form, her photon form. I can thwart. That'll give me 3 threat, or 3 thwarting. I can take the 3 threat off of here. Then I get to draw a card. And then I can actually take threat off of these. And hopefully play Blue Marvel. So I could flip to, what form would I go to after? I mean, the attack form would be good, I guess. I could Ding Proxima Midnight and take her down to 0. And that way I know she's defeated, and then I can just at some point do the 3 on Corvus Glaive, and then that will take us over to the second phase. Or their second form. I also need to get rid of this landing craft. This is not great. Man, call for aid would be... I wonder who I could get with call for aid. But, oh, conveniently, Blue Marvel would actually be thwarting and attacking for 3 each, because he is an Avenger. So, with Mighty Avengers, that gives him +1, +1 thwart, +1 attack. So he could actually come in. You take the 2 off of landing craft, but then that would give me a minion that I would have to deal with. Ah, it's okay. Alright, so we're going to flip Spectrum up. We're going to not heal her. We are going to flip to Photon form. So that is going to take 1 off of... Take 1 off the armies of Thanos. Then Spectrum, we haven't played him yet. Spectrum is going to take 3 off of City under attack, and when defeated, the player who defeated the scheme draws 1 card. So we will draw, draw Kalu. Kalu could be useful, because I get to search the top 5 cards of my deck for an event, and then add that to my hand, and then shuffle my deck. I think... I really want to get out Blue Marvel though. Oh, it suddenly got really windy here. If I get out Kalu, I can throw Avenge Me on Kalu. I mean, technically I could actually play both of them and put Avenge Me on both of them. I think that might be the play. I could take out Evaluate Threat and go get my Queen Carrier, which would actually be really nice to have. And then, yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Alright, so we're gonna use both energy duplications, and Avengers Power is gonna reduce the cost to play Blue Marvel by 1, so the energy duplications will play for Blue Marvel. After he enters play, we need to change energy forms. We're going to change to Gamma. Technically, we don't have to change energy forms. This is just a response, not a forced response, but I'm going to use that anyway. Switch to Gamma, or should I switch to Pulsar? You know what? Actually, no. I'm going to switch to Pulsar. Because I think I need the defense right now. Plus that will actually heal me 1. So there is that. That will be nice. Blue Marvel is going to get an Avenge Me. We're going to use both of these Photon Speed and Call for Aid to get out Kalu, who is also going to get an Avenge Me. And when Kalu comes into play, we search the top 5 cards of the deck for an event and add it to our hand. The only one that I have is Photon Speed. The rest of this is I got 2 allies, a resource, and the support that I want to get out. Okay. That's actually not terrible. I should probably be doing this in the camera. Let's see. I need a drink. Water break. My fat cat Aries is laying on my dog's bed. Oh. He's so funny. Let's see, so this is in my hand. So he can thwart for 3, she can thwart for 2, or she or he. I really can't tell what clue is. Okay, let's see. So Blue Marvel, I think, is going to take 3 off of here. Again, he's got 3 because of Mighty Avengers. So that will clear Under Siege. I gotta get rid of Landing Craft, but I want to do that when I've got Hawkeye in play. Clue can take out Evaluate Threat. That would give me the Queen Carrier. And then I could play the Queen Carrier because it would cost 2 less. I could use Photon Speed to play the Queen Carrier for 1. That would be all of my resource generators. this is really greedy and probably not the right play, but I'm going to do it anyway. Alright, yep, so we're going to thwart 2 off of evaluate threat. This is a victory, so it goes out of play. Oops. Forgot I got shuffled back in. So we're going to go find the Queen Carrier. Where are you? There you are. Okay, so with evaluate threat, it goes up to my hand, but then it costs 2 less to play until the end of the phase. So okay. So we're gonna pay photon speed to get out the Queen Carrier. And now I have all my resource generators, which is good. Alright. We're ready. And draw. We got Regroup, another Avenge Me, an Energy, a Gamma Blast, and a Med Lab. I'd like to get the Med Lab out. That would be nice to have Med Lab out. Alright. This is going up by 2. So that's at 5, which is not great. This is also going up by 2. I've got to get rid of this landing craft. Oh, also Corvus Glaive is the active villain. So now the question is, because I'm in Pulsar, I can block. And well, I do have a way to switch, but that means I have to play Gamma Blast, which isn't terrible. You know, I think I forgot to do the damage when I'm not going to go back and figure it out. Okay. It would be nice to draw more cards, though. So I think I'm going to have Kalu jump in the way of this attack. Somebody's got to block it, because I really don't want to put damage on Avengers Tower if I can avoid that. So Kalu is going to block. He's attacking for 1. Heal 2 damage from the active villain and give it a tough status card. Alright, so we need Black Knight back. And Corvus Glaive goes up to 5. This can get so frustrating if they keep healing, and like you can't quite get them down to 0. I've never really had a big issue with that though, so I'm not too worried about it. Alright, so Kalu is leaving play. Kalu is defeated. That's going to trigger Avenge Me, so I get to draw 2 cards. Ooh, a Genius, and a Black Knight. Perfect! Oh, Corvus Glaive also gets tough. Can't forget that. Alright, so he did his attack. We lost that. We drew cards. Now we have our encounter card, which is Corvus's Glaive. Attached to Corvus Glaive. Corvus Glaive gains Retaliate 1. Take 1 damage and spend a energy and strength resource to discard this card. So yeah, we want to get rid of this, because we flip him and he's still going to keep it, unfortunately. However, now it is my turn. We do have the Black Knight. We've got the Med Lab. We've got another Avenge Me. Yeah, I think in the future I'm going to take Regroup. Just doesn't work for this deck. I really think it would work better for if I'm playing it in multiplayer. and I'm actually using my allies to block for everybody. Or everybody's using their allies to block, because then everybody's getting all their allies back. Let's see, how do we want to play this? So I do, let's see, Gamma Blast. Okay, I first... I want to defeat Corvus Glaive. Alright, so I'm going to use Genius to get out, and Avengers Tower to get out Black Knight. Black Knight can attack Corvus Glaive. He'll take 2 damage, 1 consequential, 1 retaliate. But he'll get through the tough, and that knocks Corvus Glaive down to 2. The only way that I can switch to my Gamma form is by playing Gamma Blast, but I don't want to play Gamma Blast until we're on the villain phase 2, because that's a lot of damage. That's 7 damage to an enemy. And, I mean, that's way too... That's enough for, let's see, so Corvus Glaive's hit points next phase are 11, and Proxima Midnights are 12. So if I can just play a couple of Gamma Blasts, taking care of, like, getting rid of these 2 is not going to be an issue. So... I kind of want to throw Avenge Me. I think I'm going to. I'm going to throw Avenge Me on Black Knight. I will have Black Knight attack. We got to get rid of that tough. Because even, like, at 5 hit points, even if I attack him with Gamma Blast, it's going to eat all 7 of that damage and just take away his tough, and then I take a damage for retaliate. So Black Knight will take... he'll take 1 retaliate, and then he'll take a consequential damage. I think that's how that order works. But he does 3 damage because and removes a tough from Corvus Glaive. So now Corvus Glaive is only at 2 hit points. So Proxima Midnight is at 1, Corvus is at 2. I could have Blue Marvel actually. Ooh. There's a thought. So I'll use Regroup. I'm gonna get out Med Lab. Blue Marvel is going to attack Corvus Glaive. It's going to be a little much on the damage side, just by 1 point. Oh, let me check that. Really quick, I'm going to look up whether... Because I'm pretty sure consequential comes at the end. But I want to make sure that I'm doing this in the right order, because that will that will determine whether or not I actually want to do this. So before I even do that. Okay, so let's see. Oops. Okay. So it looks like, yeah, so retaliate happens first, consequential damage comes after, which would defeat Blue Marvel. That means I could put him under Medlab. And then I can play him again. It'd have to be next turn because I have to exhaust this in order to do both of the things. So Blue Marvel is going to attack Corvus Glaive. That is definitely going to happen. So Corvus Glaive is going to go down to 0 hit points. Let's find our little document here. Okay. So Corvus Glaive is at 0 hit points. Blue Marvel takes 1 retaliate damage for that attack. And then he's going to take his consequential damage at the end of the action. So then he is defeated. We're going to Medlab him. So he's over here. And then Avenge Me is going to trigger and draw me 2 cards. Oh, I got a Speed of Light. Perfect. That is actually super helpful. Because that is going to defeat Proxima Midnight. Let's see if they have any nasty effects. Nope, he just gains a +1 to his attack, and I think she gains she also gains a +1 to attack. Which is not, I think, that big of an issue. Plus I get Ant-Man, who can thwart for 3. Speed of Light is going to draw me another card. Okay, this is actually going a little better than I expected. Alright, yes. Okay, so we are going to Speed of Light. So we're going to change energy forms. We're going to go to Gamma. We'll deal 1 damage to an enemy. We're going to do that to Proxima Midnight. Alright, so she is zeroed out now. She's defeated. Since they're both defeated, now I can move over, or move up to the second villain phase, or form. I forget what they're called. But, let's see, Proxima Midnight now has 12 hit points. And Corvus Glaive now has 11 hit points. Okay. I want to get rid of Corvus, or get him down to 0 as soon as possible. I always hate paying to get rid of these because I want to actually play my cards. I don't want to spend them to get rid of that. So we changed energy forms. And we get to draw a card, which is another Gamma Blast. Oh, I wish I could pay for both. That would be amazing, actually. So I could do a Gamma Blast on Proxima Midnight. I do, actually, so I want to get Ant-Man out. I think it's important that I get Ant-Man out, because he can thwart for 3. And I do need to... Oh, and this is an alter ego action, so I gotta flip down to do this anyway. Which I'm gonna do anyway because Proxima Midnight, otherwise she's attacking me for 5 every turn if I don't want to put damage on Avengers Tower. Right, so I think I am gonna play 1 Gamma Blast, and I'm gonna aim it at Proxima Midnight. I do want to get out Ant-Man. I'd like to take the threat off of there. But I also need to get rid of Landing Craft. this is going to pop, which is going to give me another encounter card. I think I'll be okay dealing with that. I don't think it's that big of a problem. It's not as bad as this, which would be dealing 6 damage to Avengers Tower, which I really don't want to do. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use energy to pay for Ant-Man. So Ant-Man comes into play with 2 PIM counters. The max amount of PIM counters he can have is 4, and his PIM counters act as his hit points. He gets +1 hit point for each PIM counter on him. Because you'll notice he has a 0 here. But he also costs 0, so you're overpaying for Ant-Man's cost. And so I overpaid, so he gets 2 PIM counters. He is going to thwart. I'm going to say he's just going to thwart off of there. And then I'm going to use both energy duplications and my Quinn Carrier. We'll just kind of put those on top of each other to play a Gamma Blast. So we're going to do 7 damage to Proxima Midnight. So that is going to put her at 5 hit points. The overkill doesn't matter because I'm not aiming at anybody else. And then I guess I can attack, well, I can attack for 3. Yeah, I'll attack Proxima Midnight for 3. So that's going to take her down to 2. And then we're going to flip down. And that will be the end of my turn. So I'm all ready. And draw. I am going to keep this Gamma Blast because we're gonna hurt some bad guys. Oh, there's Stinger. And another Gamma Blast. Okay. I think we can win this turn. Alright, so this is going to go up by 2, which is going to clear that, and that's going to give us a face down encounter card. Oh, and this is going to go over here as well. So Proxima Midnight is the active villain. Oh, this is going to go up by 2 as well. She's scheming for 1, 2. The boost ability is if damage from this attack defeats an ally, deal 3 damage to Avengers Tower. This is not an attack, so that whiffs. So she just schemes for 2. So that's at 4 now. Let's see. So now we have these 2 encounter cards. This one, Proxima's Power. When revealed, Proxima Midnight activates against you. Oh no! So she's scheming for 1, 2, 3. So that pops Under Siege, which is going to put 6 damage on Avengers Tower. So she gets an attack through us somehow. And now Avengers Tower is at 6 damage. If there's 9 on here, this ends up flipping. Which for me is not great because that will take out my Avengers Tower, but at the same time, it would be worse if we were playing the campaign, I think. Alright, so that's going to discard. There we go. Okay, and then this one, Black Order Infantry. When defeated, give the villain a tough status. Alright, so we'll put that right there. Okay, so what do we have? What can we do? Nobody has tough anymore. Black Knight is about to... He's about to leave this mortal coil, at least for a little while. I do definitely want to get Blue Marvel back. But he will come in exhausted. Oh! Unfortunately, I didn't pay attention to that. So since Medlab is an alter ego action, and his response is a hero response, his response is not going to work. That's sad. I can have Black Knight attack Corvus Glaive, because Black Knight's going to shuffle off anyway. That'll take him down to 8. And will draw me 2 cards. I think Avenge Me is just an interrupt, so I can do that while I'm in this form. So I'm going to do that. Black Knight is going to attack Corvus Glaive. And so he's going down to 8. And then Black Knight is going to take, what is it, Retaliate damage, which will take him out before Consequential can even take him out. So then we have Avenge Me, which is going to trigger and give me a Pulsar Shield. And a Squirrel Girl. Oh, hi, Apollo. My cat Apollo has decided to come say hi. Hi, buddy. How you doing? And that's actually not terrible. If I can get out Squirrel Girl. Ooh, I could make the call, though. I could make the call on Black Knight. I don't think Kalu would be worth it, but Black Knight might be worth it because he's attacking for 3. So if I get him back, that brings Corvus Glaive down to 5 because he would attack Corvus Glaive. Ant-Man's attacking for 3 as well. So that would take him down to 2. I have lethal this phase. I could actually... Yeah, I can win. Okay. Alright. So we're gonna flip up. And we're immediately gonna go to Gamma form. Since we flipped to Gamma form, we get to do a damage. We're gonna put that on Corvus Glaive. It's not an attack, so Retaliate doesn't trigger. Then I can play yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Alright, we're going to use Energy Duplication, both of them, and Quinn Carrier to play a Gamma Blast, which is 7 damage. The Black Order Infantry has Guard. Oh no! Unfortunate. Oh, and I should have gotten Blue Marvel out as well. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. So he's gonna kill the Black Order Infantry. Oh, except this is gonna flip over here. So Corvus Glaive is the active villain. Oh, I don't know how this works with Overkill. I need to look this up. Excuse me. Let's see. So, let's see if we can find out where to the active villain. Okay. And the Black Order infantry says that when he's defeated, you give the villain a tough status card. So, oh, this is not great. So if I do play Gamma Blast, that'll do 4 damage to the Black Order infantry. However, once he's defeated, Corvus Glaive is going to get a tough status. And I believe that tough... let's see. Let me check this minion text. Okay, so this is a ruling specifically from Black Order Infantry, where it says since the damage would be dealt simultaneously, the villain would be given a tough status card after overkill damage is applied and Black Order Infantry triggers its when defeated effect. So, what that means is I attack with Gamma Blast on Black Order Infantry, so he'll take 4 damage. 3 is going to roll over onto Corvus Glaive, knocking him down to 4 hit points, and since the attack was on Black Order Infantry, not Corvus Glaive, the Retaliate doesn't trigger on me. But then after he takes that 3 damage, then he'll get the tough status. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to do energy duplication, both energy duplications, and a Quinn carry to do Gamma Blast. So that's 4 on Black Order Infantry, 3 on Corvus Glaive. So I'll find my little document here. So he's down to 4 hit points. Now he has tough. Okay. So that takes care of the Gamma Blast. So now I could attack for 3. I could actually bring Squirrel Girl out. She'd do 1 damage to Proxima, Midnight, and Corvus Glaive each, so that would ping the tough off, and Proxima Midnight would be down to 1 hit point. Squirrel Girl, well, Stinger actually. Stinger could take out Corvus Glaive. That's funny. I could Speed of Light and draw a card, but I don't think that's going to help anything. I mean, I guess I could just continue this on and try to figure out the most damage that I could get out of this hand, since I do have another Gamma Blast in hand. But I kind of want to end this game, so I'm going to use Effective Leadership to play Stinger. So that's going to give her +1 thwart, +1 attack, which she also has from Mighty Avengers, so she's got 3 thwart, 3 attack. We're going to use Avengers Tower and Pulsar Shield to play Squirrel Girl. When she enters play, deal 1 damage to each enemy. So Proxima Midnight goes down to 1, and Corvus Glaive is down to 3. She can also thwart and attack for 2 each. I mean, I could make the call just to see who comes up. Or no, I already know who would come up because it's from my discard pile. So it would either be Kalu or Black Knight. I would not be able to play Black Knight. I could play Kalu if I wanted to. I'm kind of tempted to get rid of this landing craft just to see what I pull, but I'm worried that it'll wreck my my victory, because I might have to take care of that. Because I can't even play the second Gamma Blast. So I could do... Forgot that, yeah, I did actually. A Squirrel Girl. I did. So he should still be at 4. Thank you for pointing that out. So I think probably I'm just gonna go for the kill. I'm not gonna do anything fancy. Alright, so I'll have Spectrum attack Corvus Glaive for 3, so that'll put him down to 1, and then I will take a retaliate from that as well. So now they're each down to 1. And then I guess we'll have Squirrel Girl and Stinger both finish off the villains. Finish off the 2 villains. So now they're both down to 0. And yay, we win the scenario. I mean, I could also, attack for 3 with Ant-Man on somebody. I could use the Ant-Man to clear landing craft, but again, that would just give me another minion. I wonder what minion it would be. Because if it was Black Order infantry, that would completely screw that ending if I had decided to take out landing craft first. Ooh. That was a Black Order Besieger. Okay, so that actually wouldn't have been bad. I just would have taken some extra damage. So yeah, that was the game with Spectrum. Yeah, with this particular scenario, I like to jump back and forth between Alter Ego and Hero, depending on which villain I'm up against, just to kind of keep the damage down, because Corvus Glaive attacks for less. He only attacks for 1 on his phase 1, and Proxima Midnight, she attacks for 2, plus another 2 if you don't want to be putting damage on Avengers Tower. Which, as you can see, you want to avoid, because all 6 of this damage was just from one thing. Saying, you have to put damage on Avengers Tower. And if it gets up to 9, so in multiplayer it's not too terrible, but in single player, it's 9 per player. So if it gets up to 9 for single player, that's the end of Avengers Tower. It flips over to the damage side. And then if you're running Avengers Tower, I was, you lose your Avengers tower. Yeah, but like Spectrum, she's a lot of fun. I think the main complaint that I've heard people have with her is the fact that she can feel like she gets stuck in a form that you don't necessarily want to be in, or that you find it difficult to switch to the form that you want to be in. Or like in my case, a couple of times during this game, I actually kind of wished that I could flip to the form that I was already in just to get that one damage or one threat removal or even the one healing. But like overall, she's a lot of fun to play. She's kind of a puzzly hero, which is one of the types of hero that I really gravitate towards. I like heroes that make you think and that you have to kind of build around. But also, like, you can kind of build around them in multiple ways. I do need to remember next time that Blue Marvel and MedLab don't mix. Because MedLab is an alter ego action. I totally forgot about that, and Blue Marvel is a hero response, so never put Blue Marvel under MedLab. if you want to use his actual hero response. But, I mean, MedLab, if I could have gotten Black Knight under MedLab, that would have been nice, because then I could just recur him whenever the tough came up. But yeah, MedLab is kind of one of those cards where I definitely wouldn't put it in every leadership deck, but there are certainly some leadership decks that it can definitely help, especially if you have certain allies that you want to keep coming back consistently and that you want to use until, you know, they're taken out by their consequential damage. I mean, either that or there's a lot of retaliate, and, you know, they'll take the retaliate and then it's the consequential damage that ends up taking them out. That's kind of nice with that, how that timing works. So then you can use MedLab to get the character back. It does suck that you have to go down to Alter Ego to bring them back out of the MedLab. I mean, thematically, I guess it makes sense. And then they're also exhausted, which I guess thematically also makes sense. I mean, still, at least you're getting this ally, especially if they're like the centerpiece of your deck. The fact that you have MedLab and you can get them back out on the next turn, as long as you can flip down, I think is great. So it's a card that I definitely want to spend a little bit more time with and try to figure out ways to really make it work. But as far as Spectrum the hero goes, she's fun. She is a lot of fun, and I think like once you can figure out how to keep her switching forms as needed, you know, like every time you play an event, like if you play one of her attack events, the Gamma Blast, it's always going to flip you to Gamma. Or if you play Photon Speed, you know, it's always going to flip you to Photon. Or if you play Pulsar Shield, it's always going to flip you to Pulsar. Just kind of as long as you can figure out how to work with that, it's really helpful. And then also you've got these Speed of Light cards that will just let you change your energy form and draw a card. And then Blue Marvel, like his whole thing is you play him, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be that you play him. It's just after he enters play. So you could actually rapid response Blue Marvel because he helps you change energy forms too. So there's a lot of ways to actually switch your energy form within her kit. It's just kind of a matter of figuring out how to make it all fit together. Yeah, like this is the first time I played, well, this isn't the first time I played her in a really long time, but just like recently when I decided that I was going to do this video with her, I hadn't played her in, wow, probably since maybe like a couple of months after the Mad Titan Shadow box came out. Because as I said at the beginning, I was like, Adam Warlock was my guy. Like I was having a lot of fun with Adam Warlock and trying to figure out how to build him, and then somebody created that Adam Warlock, what was it, the Wild Tutor deck. And I normally don't net deck, and I don't like to look at other people's decks, not because I think they're horrible deck builders. I know for a fact that there are a lot of people on Marvel's CDB that are much better deck builders than I am. It's that I don't want to feel like I've stolen somebody else's deck design. I like to build my own decks, and if it ends up being something that, you know, somebody else has already thought of, then and they made it work really well, and I kind of made it work. Like I'll be like, well, at least I was on the right, headed in the right direction with it, even if it doesn't necessarily work as well as theirs did. But every once in a while I'll look, and Adam Warlock was one I was having difficult time trying to figure out how to build for. So he is one that I actually net decked for and tried the Wild Tutor deck. I think I might have tweaked it just a little bit, to use a couple of cards that I really wanted to use in his deck, and didn't seem like they would change up how the deck worked too much. And I had a lot of fun with it, and it still seemed to work really well from what I remember. But that was a while ago. More recently, I played Adam Warlock with some new players. And I was playing Adam Warlock. I think, let's see, one of them was playing Captain America. It was an aggression build that I put together where Captain America is he's just throwing damage around. And then the other player, who did they play? I forget. Was it Venom? I can't remember who the other player played. But it was a good time. We played through what was it? It was the Red Skull campaign. And I just put together an Adam Warlock deck for that. And I think with Adam Warlock, once you realize that his whole thing is you do want to be discarding cards from your hand to be activating his ability. Like once you figure that out and you start really leaning into it, he works so much better. But, oh yeah, Captain America is so great. He's still one of my favorites, even after all these years, since he first released. Like even the early design of Captain America, he's still great. And Vision, I like Vision. He's another one, yeah, that's true that he does get a bad rap. I think part of the issue with Vision was that the rule for defense changed. The rule for defense, like the defense keyword or the defense trait, actually changed right before Vision released, which made some of his cards functionally unplayable with him if he was in his intangible form. Where the way that the word previously had worked, all of the cards would have been playable for him either in intangible or in dense form. So, like, I think that put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths when they get they got the pre-con deck and played it, and then, discovered, oh, I can't use this card when I'm in intangible form. My whole hand is full of cards I can't use when in intangible form. Which I understand, like, when you build I think protection this is specifically a problem. It's entirely possible that you can draw a handful of cards that you just can't use. Like, say you flip down to Alter Ego, so you don't need any defense cards, and you draw every single one of your defense cards in your hand. So during your turn, you have nothing to spend any of your cards on, because all of your cards are basically defense cards. I've had that happen. Like, you got a couple of resource, or you have a resource card and then like 3 defense cards. Yeah, it's... That is definitely a problem with protection. But I think, like, overall, I mean, this is definitely going in a different direction, but protection is one of my personal favorite. It's actually probably my favorite aspect. And especially with all the new stuff that they've done to really flesh out different... what's the word I'm looking for? Different ways that you can play protection. And, I mean, with the new one that is basically coming just from the fact that you've got this new Ronin upgrade that's going to be in Echo's deck that is creating this whole lone wolf. What is the word? I'm forgetting the word. Way to play. Like, it just... I love protection so much. There's so many different things that you can do with it. And some people don't really like doing their entire turn on the villain turn, but I honestly don't really mind it, because you can actually get quite a bit out of it. Plus, if you're running a Change of Fortune deck and you're managing to kill off a bunch of minions, like, you're drawing cards. 2 cards doesn't seem like a lot, but if you're running Change of Fortune plus Unflappable, plus you've got the 2 resource cards that every time you spend them on a defense event, you get to draw a card. I've found playing a deck where that was kind of the central theme of it. It was a Change of Fortune deck. I think it was actually my Nightcrawler, one of my Nightcrawler decks. I was starting the actual player phase with more cards than I drew at the end of the last player phase. Once I was completely set up, it was crazy. Oh yeah, it's like, at this point, I think it's already there, depending on the hero that you... Well, I mean, as soon as Fear No Evil comes out. But depending on the hero that you have and their defense stat. So, like, for instance, like Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler may not be the best, because he starts off with a 3 with his... let's see, with his swords. That gets him up to 4. Then you give him Armored Vest, so that's 5. You give him Defensive Conditioning, that's 6. With that new starting card, the innate defense that's coming with Echo, that's 7. Am I missing one? I don't know, it's crazy though. Like, playing that with a Stop Hitting Yourself. You do 7 damage to the villain just by defending, and then playing Stop Hitting Yourself. It's great. Yeah, I am so excited for this next for this upcoming wave. Aside from the fact that Daredevil is a hero that everybody has been waiting for, Villain Theory just did a video, actually, that he put out earlier today, officially unretiring from making videos. And but he's not going to be doing it at quite the same pace that he had been releasing videos in the past. He's decided that he's going to be a little bit more chill about what videos he produces. He's not going to be releasing a video for every single little thing that gets announced. But I really think a big part of the reason that that's even happening is because he's been wanting Daredevil since he started playing the game. I don't remember if he said he started right at the beginning, but I think he was close enough to the beginning of the game that he's been waiting for Daredevil for a really long time. And and so seeing that video, like, it was funny, because he's kept putting out videos over the months, and it's like, are you really retired? It kind of became a meme, I think, within the community. But it's good to see him kind of get his enthusiasm for making content for the game again, because I'll admit I haven't watched all of his videos, but like the ones that I have watched and really gotten into, man, he looks at the game in a completely different way than I do. He is more into like the nitty-gritty and all of that stuff. A lot more where he's kind of looking at card interactions and the best ways that things can work together. And so, yeah, like, I generally lean more towards watching gameplay. If you haven't, you should look up Crash Space. If you haven't heard of Crash Space before, you should definitely look up Crash Space. I would say that he's probably got some of the best gameplay videos that are available on YouTube, like, hands down. And he doesn't, like, he also likes to try out janky decks, which I always appreciate, and somehow, like, still makes them seem powerful. So, I appreciate the fact that he's kind of willing to do, like, weird janky decks, or decks that you wouldn't think are going to be super powerful, but he still plays in expert, and he still manages to actually win the game. I am not that lucky with when I build a weird janky deck. It will either crash spectacularly, or it'll get through standard just fine, but then when it goes up against expert, it'll probably crash. So generally I stick to standard. Also, I think, there's like a whole bunch of other creators that they always play on expert, and I know with newer players to the game, I'm sure some would just like to see some standard chill gameplay, and so kind of that's where I fall as far as the gameplay goes. But oh yeah, Spider Bro. Are you talking about Web Warrior Fanatic, or is that somebody different? Because, man, Web Warrior Fanatic is one of those guys who, man, he is really good at building power decks, but they always kind of look the same, because it's always got the same basic package in it, essentially. Oh, okay, so Spider Bro is somebody else. I don't think I've heard of that one. Huh, I'm gonna have to look that one up. I just recently started listening to... No, today. Like, when I say recently, I mean today. I started listening to Sidekicked, the podcast. It's with Jason Sketch, Marvel Earth Twister, and... Oh, who was the other guy? I forget who the other guy is. But anyway, they're basically going over the allies in the game. But anyway, yeah, that's a fun podcast where they're just kind of talking about the different allies and their utility. The history of the actual character is pretty cool. But anyway, going back to villain theory, yeah, it was nice to see that, that Daredevil announcement, I think, really just kind of kickstarted his desire to make content again, which I'm happy to see. Because, while I don't necessarily watch all of his videos, I do enjoy the ones that I have watched, and I definitely, there are some I want to go back and look through, and he definitely understands the game on a whole different level than me. Like, I would say I'm more surface level. He is, like, super, super deep as far as his understanding of the game. And I think that's illustrated by his... You can always give streaming a try. It's really not difficult. I had considered streaming for a while, but I didn't think anybody would want to watch. But then my friend Nine Down was saying that he missed watching the gameplay. Peter from One Stop Co-op Shop used to do Friday night Marvel. Oh, 74 is just a number. You could totally stream. I saw a video. Was it like a news story or something? These people couldn't get in contact with their 90-something-year-old mother or grandmother, and they got worried and sent the cops over for a welfare check. And the cops get to her house. She's not answering the door. They get into the house somehow, and they find her in her room with a pair of headphones on, playing a video game. She was totally engrossed in her video game and just was not answering the phone for anybody. And she was in her 90s, so... That's cool that you've got family that will play with you. Because when I go up and visit my family, they will not play with me. Like, their eyes glaze over when I talk about Marvel Champions. They're like, oh, okay, yep, sure, that sounds great. Mm-hmm. So I've just learned, when I go up there, I take my cards just for me to play, and then, so I just play by myself. But and then the people that I recently started playing with, that are in my local area, they're actually... My game group, our RPG campaign kind of fell apart because of, life happening for some of the players. And so I actually, over time, I've kind of, I try to get people to play Marvel Champions, but then they wouldn't be into it, and I was just like, oh, okay, well, I'm not good at selling this game, apparently. So I just stopped trying to get people into it. But then my GM for the campaign wanted to play games, and so I mentioned, and he watches this stream. I don't know that he's watching now. I think he would have commented if he was watching right now. But anyway, I mentioned this, and he was like, well, I don't want to get into a TCG. I'm like, it's not a TCG. It's not a CCG. It's an LCG. Like, you buy a pack, you know exactly what's going to be in the pack. Everybody gets the same cards. And he was like, oh. And so he started looking into it, and then I showed him how to play. This was just a few months ago. He went out and managed to find everything. I'm not even joking. Like, he managed to find the hard to find stuff. He managed to find Captain America and Doctor Strange. Like, so he's like gotten really into the game. And then the guy who owns the game store, like, I actually showed him how to play the game shortly after it came out, and I'm pretty sure I'm the reason that he even started carrying Marvel Champions. And now he's actually got a pretty good, he says he's got a pretty good amount of people who pre-order Marvel Champions stuff. But he even started playing, because he was also part of our RPG campaign that fell apart. And so he started playing with us, and now he's into the game, where he played it before, and he's like, oh, it's okay, it's fun. But he was like a Magic guy, and he was into, I think for a little while he got into SWU. Ugh, I hate SWU. And I think he played a little bit of, what's the Disney one? I forget. Anyway, yeah, so now that we've got the whole group somewhat into Marvel Champions, like, he's like, and we're playing a little more, he's like, oh, okay, like, I'm starting to understand how this game works a little more, and so now he's into it, and he actually bought a collection off of one of his employees who had bought a lot of the early stuff and then just never really played it. So I think he actually has Captain America and Doctor Strange as well. So yeah, it's like crazy that all of a sudden, like, I know some people who are actually really interested in playing the game. So that's been nice, because the other group that I would meet with, it takes me like an hour to drive down to where they are, so we could only meet like once a month, and it's actually been, we were able to meet in, I think, at the very beginning of June, but before that we hadn't met in months, but that's because I've had a lot of stuff going on personally, so anyway, yeah. But yeah, for me, oh, so it was your daughter who got you into it, and her husband. Interesting. So you were the one who got pulled into it. You didn't get it's not that you got your kids into it, they're the ones who got you into it. That's cool. Yeah, I can't, I have tried to get my family into it, and they're just not into it. My dad is, he likes to play MMOs. He was big into World of Warcraft back in the day. Now his MMO of choice is the Star Wars one. I forget what it's called. Oh, 7 kids and some don't play. Okay. Yeah, for me, it's like my whole family is completely uninterested. My niece asked to play once when I visited this last Christmas. So, and she wanted a copy of Deadpool and what other heroes? There were a couple of heroes that she asked if I could find for her, and the local store still had a copy of Deadpool. I was able to track down a copy of, I think Rogue was one of them. I think Wolverine might have been one of them, and Scarlet Witch. Yeah, I stopped playing WoW a long time ago. I sometimes miss it. I never got into Fortnite. I don't like PvP. It's not, I really don't like PvP. I'm bad at it, and I don't have any desire to do what it would take to get even just decent at it. But yeah. Oh, do they not carry a lot of Marvel Champions, the game store where you are? Because I know one of the game stores that I would go to a lot, I haven't been there nearly as much recently. Like, they carry some Marvel Champion stuff, but not a whole lot. But the one that I really know the owner pretty well, we're friends now, and I got him into playing the game. Like, he would carry everything if they were still printing everything. Like, he's got like a whole section that's just dedicated to Marvel Champions, and it's been kind of sad seeing it shrink as the different packs sell, because he can't fill them back. He can't get them back because they're no longer in print. So. Yeah, but I think once FFG did announce that they were not going to be reprinting a lot of all of the older stuff except for the core box. And even with the core box, like, they never announced that they weren't going to reprint it, but they just weren't reprinting it. And I know that because the store owner was like, I can't get a copy of the core box in. He's like, I can't order any copies of the core box. They're impossible to get a hold of. Oh, that sucks. I hate it when that happens with a store. Like, they'll order some things, but they don't get all of the stuff, and they don't get in a lot of the new stuff. And I've seen that around where a lot of people have complained about how their store is not... They're either not getting stuff in at all, or it's coming in late. I can say I don't know if the guy who owns the store here just like has an in with somebody, or like his distributor really likes him, but I have never had an issue with getting anything either on time or at least within a week of release. Sometimes the issue is that he doesn't get the order in on time, in which case then I have to wait until the next week to pick it up, but it's always, like, he always has it within a week of when the release date actually is, which is really nice. But he knows when it comes to Marvel Champions and Arkham Horror that if there's a release, I'm going to buy it. And so he makes sure that there's that he has one set aside for me of everything that ends up getting released. But now, I think now he's going to have to start ordering more product in, because now it's like me, him, our GM from our RPG, another guy who I had actually, at one of the local game conventions one year, I actually, I volunteered to do like a how to play Marvel Champions thing, and he actually had signed up for that event, so he learned to play Marvel Champions from me, and he's actually friends with the GM from my group, and so I was like, oh hey, yeah. So he's joined the group now since we're playing Marvel Champions, and And then there's another guy he's kind of in, kind of out. I think he's still trying to decide if he wants to buy in a whole lot. But he's like me, where I have, like, if I'm going to get into something, I want the whole thing. And so now he's getting into it and discovering that there's a whole bunch of stuff that he can't get his hands on. And, and he's not terribly happy about that. And then plus, like, with our schedules the way that they are, trying to play on a consistent basis is kind of hard. And so he'll lose interest when we aren't playing, but then when he's able to make it to a game, he regains his interest again. So hopefully, like, fingers crossed, like, I'm trying, the job I work out right now is kind of like I mean, I'm not going to say it's a bad job, but for me personally, like, I really need to find something else. Manual labor is not my thing. I have nothing but respect for people who work blue collar. I'm not a blue collar person. I need to be at a desk, sitting in front of a computer. And so right now I'm applying to some jobs that will put me in that position, so I'm less tired and more able to make it to game nights. Either, just because I'm not as tired by the end of the day, or I might be a little bit tired, but at least I don't have to work a mandatory overtime shift the next day, which is kind of what I'm dealing with now. So yeah, hopefully that pans out, and then my schedule will calm down, and I'm not having to deal with either constantly being tired or, oh yeah, by the way, you're working Friday. You had a nephew that said that. Oh, about not wanting to do manual labor jobs. Like, I have absolutely nothing but respect for people who find, like, joy in those type of jobs, because I know that there are people who just cannot sit and stare at a computer all day. I'm glad that there are people who find fulfillment that way. It just doesn't work for me. But being an adult, I have things I have to pay for. I have bills I have to pay. So you do what you have to until hopefully you can find yourself doing what you want to, and it pays the bills. And that's awesome. Like, I took some programming classes, and I'm really glad that I did, but I discovered, because I thought, oh, well, I'll get into programming. I don't know if I'll get a job in programming, but I'll learn how to do some programming and maybe see if I can, like, in my free time, basically completely restructure the back end of Marvel CDB. Nope. I discovered that it's one of those things that I'm glad now that I know what I'm looking at, because, like, so these little things here, the scoreboard thingies, the only reason I think that I was able to make those actually work is because I took those programming classes, and so I kind of know what I'm looking at now when I'm looking at some code. But I realized pretty quickly that that programming is not for me. Like, I don't have the personality for programming. So, like, I am in awe of people who can do that all day, who can just sit and write programs all day. like I just discovered I can't do that. Like, fingers crossed. There's one particular job that I really want. The manager of the office tried to recruit me for that job, but it was a government job. It was a couple of years ago, and then there was like, the hiring freeze or whatever, which I'm not gonna get into all of that stuff. It's just that affected me getting a job in that particular office. So I actually reached out to that guy recently just to see if they were planning on doing any hiring anytime soon, and it's looking like they are, so fingers crossed that actually ends up happening and I can apply for that particular job, because it's a job that I think I would be really good at and that I would actually really enjoy doing, and I think is actually helpful. It actually helps people who need and deserve the help. So it helps veterans, and I'm a veteran, so I'm always like, if I can help other veterans, like, that would make me happy. So anyway, man, I don't know, I haven't really decided what I want to do for next week. I'm gonna have to kind of look at the different heroes that I have and the ones that I haven't touched recently, and see like if I can come up with any interesting deck builds for them that I want to play, and then like who I would want to play against. I am planning on eventually starting to do two-handed gameplay videos. I don't know that I'll do them on stream, but I definitely want to do two-handed campaign playthroughs. And I want to start right from the beginning at Rise of Red Skull, and then just go through chronological order of when they came out, when each one came out, and just pick two heroes and build thematic decks, making sure that the heroes are also thematic with whatever whatever campaign it is I'm playing against, and then just releasing those videos. So like 5 videos for each campaign, since there are 5 scenarios per campaign. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. How did you end up finding me, by the way? Because I know I haven't, the only people that I told about my streaming have been like my direct friends, like people that I directly know and actually talk to. And then like the one online friend that I have who had mentioned that he missed the streaming, and so I was like, oh well, I guess I can start streaming. But like that's it. I don't go on Reddit and advertise any of my videos, and I'm not even in the main Discord. But yeah, I'm like interested in how people, because I mean it's YouTube, and YouTube, like if it's not already a big channel, YouTube, like the way the algorithm works seems really weird, where it just only pushes like the big stuff, not really the little stuff. Every once in a while I think I'll run across something that's really small, but mostly it's just a lot of the bigger channels. Like really? That is so crazy. Yeah, I'm on YouTube all the time. I watch way too much YouTube as well. But yeah, I discovered Jason's Sketch and I think Marvel Earth Twister because their videos just kind of randomly showed up. There's another guy, I haven't seen his video show up again, even though I did subscribe. Yeah, YouTube is, I don't know, the way YouTube works is weird. sometimes you'll subscribe to a channel and none of the videos will ever come up, but then like you won't subscribe to a channel, but you'll watch a couple of the videos and then all of their videos start showing up in your feed. I don't understand how that works. But yeah, I do plan on eventually starting to put out those videos, and I'm also considering, but this is kind of one of those things where it feels like it should be more of like a discussion thing, so I would have to find somebody who would be willing to like sit and have a discussion, basically on a podcast, where I want to like actually start talking about all the different supports and upgrades in the game. Since, you know, my catchphrase is now, you know, I hope you don't get caught off guard. Because caught off guard, man, that card. The only reason that hasn't hit me in the last few games is because we're playing Standard 3, and it's not in Standard 3. If we were playing regular Standard, I would have drawn it at least once every single game that I've played. Like, D20 has Shadow of the Past, I have caught off guard. That is... Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I just like to... Like, I literally talk to myself while I'm playing, so I'm like, well, I guess I can talk to the camera too. So... there is that. I guess I just have kind of a natural, oh, yeah, well, since I'm talking to myself, I guess I might as well be talking to a camera as well. But, yeah, hopefully I can start doing those somewhat soon. Again, I gotta get my schedule has to equalize a little bit. With the holiday coming up, I might actually be able to start start putting some videos together for some stuff. I still need to do my storage video. I keep thinking about that and trying to figure out exactly how I want to do it, because I know it's going to involve some editing, and I don't really know how to edit, but Villain Theory actually did mention using Canva. So I might actually look into using Canva. Yeah, caught off guard. That card. Oh my gosh. Like, I think on Crash Space, Andre will draw caught off guard, and he's like, oh, this is not that big of a deal. He's like, oh, I'll just get rid of this card. And I'm like, why is it that, like, everybody else seems to draw it when they have a card that they're like, I don't really care about this card can go away. And my whole plan, or, you know, how my deck is meant to work, it's not going to really be affected. But I draw caught off guard, and it immediately will discard one of the most important, like, setup cards that I have. Every time. Very, very rarely will it ever come out and hit, like, Skilled Investigator, where I'm like, I don't really want to lose this card, but it'll be easy enough to get back. No, it usually takes a card that I need to use, like, for how my entire deck functions. But eventually, yeah, like, I really need to kind of figure out how to, like, put all the video stuff together, so that I can actually show my overly detailed storage system, and then also just, like, some other things that go with the game. And, like, talking more about, like I said, the different supports and upgrades and stuff. Because there are a lot of supports and upgrades, I think, that end up getting overlooked. I really think one of my recent favorite supports is the Bifrost, and I really want to see that card get more support. Like, we definitely need more Asgard allies, because that Bifrost card is amazing. If you've got the allies to make the Bifrost really functional, that literally, you get to go into your deck and find an Asgard ally and play it. You still have to pay for it, but I mean, if let's say you've just cycled your deck so your entire deck is back together, and you use the Bifrost, you can go find anybody, like any ally that you need. It's such a good card, it just doesn't have the ally support. But, yeah, oh man, what time is it? Oh, yeah, I definitely gotta go. I gotta get some sleep, because work tomorrow. Yay! But, yeah, I will think about what I'm gonna play next week. I'm kind of leaning towards Domino, because I haven't played her in a while, and she's a lot of fun. But I don't know. I also haven't played Angel in a while. And also, man, that's getting back into the mutants again. So I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll look at the different heroes that I have and see if any spark joy will reference Marie Kondo there. Okay, Domino sounds good. Maybe I will do Domino, because she's fun. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, I guess I'll see you back here again next week. Have a good one. And yeah, I guess I am out. Oh, not yet. Whoops. Okay. Actually, before I'm out, yeah, I hope you guys have a good week, and I should say my catchphrase. Let's hope you don't get caught off guard. Okay.